Hello, everybody, and welcome in another live. Today, we're going to be talking about keto for insulin resistance. Why do we do it? Why are we putting ourselves through it? How does it help? How can you start? And how does it feel? So we have quite a lot to go through. Let's do this. So, as I said, today's topic, keto for insulin resistance, is a very hot topic at the minute. And if you have been watching me for a while, you know that I talk a lot about insulin resistance and everything connected to it. I see that we already have few people tuning in, so make sure you say hi. I would love to see who you are and where you're watching from. Also, I have an announcement that I'm probably going to be telling through this video, that I actually have opened my group, my new Facebook group. So if you're watching on Facebook, you can go to tab groups and you're going to find it there. And if you're watching on YouTube, you have it in a description right now. So make sure you come and join, because recently I've been getting a lot of comments from you guys asking for advice and you talking to each other. So I really, really love it. Oh, Maria is joining us from Bulgaria. Lovely. Hi, Maria. Lovely to have you here today. And yeah, so make sure you join the group, because it will make us a little bit easier to communicate to ourselves, to each other. And of course, we start to have quite a big group here on this channel. So it will be lovely to connect to you guys. And also, if sometimes I cannot answer, really, really quick some comment, we can interact a little bit more there as well. So that would be fantastic. Again, link to the group is in description on YouTube. And if you're watching on Facebook, it's in the groups tab. So let's get cracking. We are going to be talking about keto for insulin resistance, and of course, very controversial topic because many people have a lot to say about keto, whether it is negative, positive, whether it's positive for a human body, or whether it is, how did they say it? Unsustainable. Yeah. So let's dive straight into it, shall we? So let's start with, I'm going to move a little bit, not to be covered by my overlay. What is ketogenic diet? Keto diet, ketogenic diet is first of all the same thing. So keto is just a short way of saying ketogenic diet, right? It is all the same. We have Cruz Creative watching. Hello there. And so it is all the same name. And this is the diet where you change your metabolism, which I'm going to touch on in a second. So ketogenic diet is not about particularly specific ingredients that you eat, which is a common misconception about keto, but ketogenic diet is about macros. So you have to put your body into specific state, into ketosis, in order to receive all the benefits. And of course, it has to be made right. Another thing is that keto changes your metabolism. So in a normal human who eats carbohydrates, you are mostly running on sugar metabolism, which means when you eat carbohydrates and protein as well, they're being turned into energy with the use of insulin. So when you eat something, you have spike in blood sugar. Then your pancreas produces insulin that is released into your bloodstream, and insulin opens the doors to the cells. And then sugar has the possibility to go in, because insulin is kind of the key. So sugar has the chance to come inside the cell, and then in our mitochondria, it creates energy. Keto goes around that whole process. So in keto, you do not run on blood sugar as much, and you run almost like you would have been in the fasting state. Hello, everybody who's just tuning in. Make sure you say hi. Tell me where you're watching from. I would love to connect to you guys a little bit more. So as I said, in keto, the main difference is that you run on fat, so you run on ketones. And actually, it bypasses the whole problems that we, for example, women with PCOS and with insulin resistance might have, because to run on ketones, you do not need insulin. So what happens is, when you eat fats, your body is actually digesting that fats in liver, and it is liver, not pancreas, and as in case of sugar metabolism, it is liver that produces majority of your ketones. And ketones can enter your cells a little bit easier because they don't need insulin to enter the cells. And therefore, of course, the whole metabolism is completely different. Ketones are also much cleaner source of energy. What do I mean by that? When we have sugar going into our cells and they have and the mitochondria start creating energy, there are byproducts, and you have free radicals being created in this process. In ketones are much more pure, clean energy, which means that when they are changed to energy, you don't have any byproducts, you don't have as much oxidative stress, so you don't have stuff like inflammation and other side effects of, free radicals that we have our body, like, higher cancer rate and so on and so forth. So our whole metabolism changes from sugar metabolism to ketone metabolism. So in turn, with all that I have just explained to you, you can understand how it helps with lowering insulin, because we never trigger it. If we do not eat carbohydrates, we do not eat insulin, and that whole mechanism. Oh, Lisa is watching us again. Hello there. So we can bypass that whole thing to actually create energy more efficiently. So for all of us who actually suffer from insulin resistance, which again, we have insulin for some reason doesn't open the lock, our energy, our glucose never goes to the cells, just goes straight to fat cells being saved, and we are fatigued, tired, we gain weight, and so on and so forth. In this case, we don't eat insulin. We get ketones from our liver that go straight to the cells, and we never need the insulin, right? So it has the chance to give the pancreas a rest. It has the chance to reset our insulin sensitivity and so on. Another side effect of ketogenic diet is lowering inflammation, which has been confirmed by many, many studies as well. Now, let's talk about keto macros. So, as I said, keto is a diet, right? Ketogenic diet. Ketosis is the state you're putting your body in when it runs from sugar to ketones. So to achieve the state of ketosis, we need to go through these macros. So in our diet, we have to have 75% of fat. Depending on different sources, it might be 5% here and there, 20% of protein, and 5% of carbohydrates. What I want to say as well, that ketosis is not ketoacidosis. That is very life-threatening condition that you can get if you're diabetic, right? This is not the same thing. Ketosis is the healthy state of the body that we usually should be getting in. For example, when we were hunter-gatherers or whatever, we were hunting for the animals, or we had to find, our food. When we are fasting, we naturally are in state of ketosis. So if you ever had super busy day, if you have ever been in a trip that you just didn't have time to eat, you are in a state of ketosis. So it's not a dangerous state. We're just prolonging it to continue it for days, months, years, and so on and so forth. So that is the difference. And that is very healthy state. And we are in state of ketosis depending on how much carbohydrates you're generally eating. But you can get to the state of ketosis within 14, 16 hours. So it can be quite quick, again, depending on your body. Now, carbohydrates on keto. If you want to go keto route, you are going to have to eat between 20 and 50 grams of carbohydrates a day. And this is net carbohydrates. So it is carbohydrates minus fiber. On some packages of some foods, you're going to have already said net carbohydrates, like on Cliff Bars, I think you have it already. And on the other, you're going to have just carbohydrates, and fiber is going to be on the bottom. So you take general carbohydrates minus fiber, and you have net carbohydrates. Now, if you are a beginner, you're going to want to do 20 grams of carbs a day, just because your body is not fat adapted yet. So you really have to make sure that it's still not trying to find these carbs and run on these carbs. Your body has to be starved first. It's almost like you want to switch to a little bit different fuel. You have to drain your normal sugar fuel first to reach this other much cleaner, much more efficient fuel, right? So majority of these carbohydrates that you're going to be eating are going to be from non-starchy vegetables. And that should be your focus on ketogenic diet overall. Many people think that ketogenic diet is just burgers and eggs, and sure, it can be at times, but majority of your food in general should be non-starchy vegetables. So what are starchy vegetables and non-starchy vegetables, right? I was thinking about it getting ready to this live, how to define starchy vegetables and how, without checking through your general knowledge that you already have from tasting them, what can be. If you ever have heard about a flour or any bakery product being created from this ingredient, that means that it's a starchy vegetable. And what do I mean by that? Potato, you can have potato starch. Chickpeas, you can have chickpea starch and you can have chips made of it and so on. Beans, you can make cakes out of bean flour. Everything, corn flour, of course. So everything that can be turned into flour or starch is a starchy vegetable. So you're going to want to avoid that. You want to eat watery vegetables. Yeah, that's that. We can, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, click the notification bell, sign to my group, by the way. But if you have any questions throughout this live, please leave them in the comments. I'm going to answer all of them. And then many people think, okay, so if I cannot eat carbohydrates and I cannot eat a lot of protein, right? It's only 20 grams of protein, around 20% of protein. What am I going to be eating? Again, greens, a lot of greens, and I'm going to be touching on why you're going to be eating so much greens a little bit later on. Non-starchy vegetables, as I mentioned, meat, eggs, dairy, nuts, and seafood. I think seafood counts as meat and fish counts as meat. So that's what you are going to be eating. And if you look at it, you can go very healthy around it still, and you can go very unhealthy about it. But again, I'm going to be explaining it a little bit later. So what to expect during your transitional phase. So when you start and when you will decide that you want to go keto, you might encounter something called keto flu. This is not a flu. You're not going to be sick, but you will feel like you are sick. You might. It all depends whether you have been eating a lot of carbohydrates before, how big difficulty your body has to switch to ketone metabolism, in what state is your liver in, because it all depends on your production of ketones and other stuff as well. I'm going to say how to mitigate it in a second. You can also have initial fatigue, again, because your body doesn't understand now how it is to switch the ketone production. It almost feels like it's starving at the very beginning, right? Because it's trying to it's searching for carbohydrates. Where are carbohydrates? Where can I get them from? Where do I get them from? And then after a while, it's just like, I can start producing ketones, right? Another thing is dehydration and craving for sugar. And why does that happen? In our body and in our muscles, we store we store a lot of water in our muscles. As you know, if you exercise, in our muscles, we have glycogen, which is our source of energy, like source of quick energy. Now, what happens on keto is normally in every muscle, with every glucose particle, you have 3 particles of water. Particles. I think that's the particles of water. So when we get rid of this glucose, right, this glucose has to be burned out from our body. It has to be burnt out first from our liver, because we store a lot of glucose in our liver, and then from our muscles. And then we will just start with a ketone production, right, when we won't have any other stored glucose in our body. So because of that, you're going to lose a lot of water in this initial few days. And this will cause rapid weight loss, of course, because you will see like, wow, I lost 5 pounds in 3 days. Yes, it's water. So, that's just initial phase. And if you would start eating carbohydrate, if you would eat donut tomorrow, you would get it all back, right? Because it's just the initial water. But because that happens, our potassium and magnesium levels can get a little bit out of whack, because, of course, those are our electrolytes, and those keep us hold the water together, right? Potassium, magnesium, sodium as well, of course. So because of that, you can have dehydration, and when you pee a lot, you're going to excrete a lot of potassium, magnesium, and sodium. So this is something that we will want to mitigate, and I'm going to tell you in a minute how. Now, cravings for sugar. Because we are losing a lot of potassium, lack of potassium in general is connected with sugar cravings. So right now, if you know that you have horrible sugar cravings, of course, part of it will be because of your insulin resistance, but part of it can be because of your potassium deficiency. Potassium is the thing that we have in green vegetables. We have in tomatoes, even in potatoes, actually, we have a lot of potassium, but that's kind of zeroing itself out with the amount of carbs. And the more carbs we have, the biggest demand for potassium we have. But now let's think about westernized diet. Do we eat 10 cups of vegetables or 10 cups of greens every day like we should, and then we eat few potatoes and a bun? Or is majority of our food buns, rice, chickpeas, sugar, donuts, whatever it is, pasta, right? And stuff like that. I would argue that for majority of us, we are potassium depleted, and lack of potassium makes us crave even more sugar. So that again will be connected to lack of potassium. Now, how to mitigate it? As I said, it is worse if you have been eating a lot of carbs, because you have much more to get rid of, and it will take longer for you to get rid of all of that sugar, right? All of the sugar, and also your body will need more time to adapt to a new process that it's not that well adjusted to. And especially if you're someone who nibbles throughout the day, that can be a little difficult. And again, you can have some keto flu symptoms. Now, to feel better, because you have to treat it as just dehydration. Majority of it is going to be dehydration. Speaking of which, keto drink actually is warm water, which I wish it was called, with lemon juice and some stevia. So for keto, if I would be just adapting, which I am, I should put some pinch of Himalayan salt, which I will talk about in a second. Get good electrolyte powder. And by good electrolyte powder, it should have specific ratios, and it should have specific types of magnesium and potassium to it. If you are watching this on YouTube, I have the electrolyte powder that I checked. This is my Amazon link, so this is affiliate link. If you decide to support my channel, use that. If not, even copy the name of the electrolyte powder and buy it this way. There are a few similar ones, but I chose this one because it was sugar-free. It had magnesium citrate, so it is kind of magnesium that is very well absorbed by your body. It has potassium citrate, which is also very well absorbed, and it has some Himalayan salt ingredients in it as well, which means that instead of just having sodium, Himalayan salt has in it a lot of other trace minerals. So minerals that are also very important for us to keep in our body. Just a little break. Say hi to me in the comments. Say where you're watching from. Put your questions already if you have any, and I'm going to be answering them in a minute. So this electrolyte powder, as I said, description in my YouTube. There's also, others, and I think that the primary one was Dr. Berg's electrolyte powder. Fantastic product, however, very, very expensive. So you can also, what I used to do is I bought my own Himalayan salt, I bought my own magnesium citrate and potassium citrate, and I just mixed them together in the correct ratio. I had to do some maths and so on, but it ended up being cheaper. That's another option. Now, another thing that you can notice, and here I'm going to lightly touch on something that I experienced when I was going keto last year. You might start having like tingling sensation in your hands and in your feet. So it's almost like they're numb. We have Teresa working. That's actually Teresa. This is my very Polish pronunciation. Is the name of my mom, so I love your name. And I'm glad you're watching again. I loved your comments throughout the week. Make sure you join the group as well. Where did I got it? Where did I stop? If you are going to have a tingling sensation in your arms, it probably means that you're lacking vitamins B. And this happened to me when I was starting on keto. So you should get yourself good vitamin B complex and make sure you take it every day. You not necessarily will want to take it all the time, but for the transitional period is good because again, with the dehydration, we do lose a lot of vitamins B as well. So you need to replenish them in order to function. Now, If you have electrolyte powder without any sodium in it, it's good again to get Himalayan salt and get half a teaspoon. I know it's a bit disgusting. Half a teaspoon of salt and chug it with water. And that is going to definitely help you a lot. Maria, I'm going to answer your question a little bit as well. So if you don't want to buy like artificial vitamin B, you can buy nutritional yeast. Make sure you buy unfortified ones, so without added vitamin B12, because this way they're natural. Nutritional yeast are little flakes that taste a little bit cheesy. So they're very, very tasty. I love them. And those have a lot of natural vitamin Bs, and you can easily add them to your foods. For example, what I like to do is boil Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. Maybe I'm a weirdo, but you can boil any vegetable, like if you have any boiled vegetables. And you can add a little bit of spicy paprika, salt, and nutritional yeast, and it does a little, almost like a crumb kind of breadcrumbs with a little cheesy flavor on top. Very, very delicious. So another thing to mitigate keto flu: don't deprive yourself from food at the beginning. Eat fat. If you feel hungry, eat more, and that will be probably for our first 2 weeks. So don't count anything at the beginning. Count your macros if you don't know which products you can eat or cannot eat. But if you are hungry, eat something fatty. And what it can be walnuts. Walnuts have one of the least amounts of carbohydrates in them. The least is macadamia nuts, but they're freaking expensive. God. So macadamia nuts, walnuts, pecans as well. Possibly Brazilian nuts, but I don't remember how much carbs they have. Try to avoid peanuts because they're not actually nuts. Almonds in moderation, and cashews are also not nuts, funny enough. So eat something like that. Eat an egg. Eat avocado. It's a good source of fat. Salmon, fatty fish, stuff like that. Eat a lot of greens. Also supplement with the stuff that I told you before. Drink lots of water. And if you will notice any digestive issues, don't panic. So for the first 2 or 3 weeks, you might have either constipation or diarrhea. You might also have, if your body is not used to creating enough bile, and bile is the liquid that we have in our gallbladder. Bile is that liquid that is basically a detergent. So is being secreted into your bowels to help digestion of fats, right? It has to break them apart. So if your body is not used to creating bile, you might start feeling a little tension underneath. You might even feel a little pain after your right shoulder blade. This is not something to panic. You might want to lower, for example, fried foods for that period. You might want to lower your fat a little bit. And if not, the great solution is to get bile salts. So the bile salts is actually dried ox bile, and it helps you with digestions of fats. I remember when I went keto first time, 2 years ago, more than 4 years ago. My liver, I knew, was not in a very good place because I just went off birth control and I was overdosed on birth control. I have that story in the other video. But it was not in a very good place, and I had tension right there. So I just stepped back. I gave it a break. I started having bile salts with my normal non-keto food, increasing slowly the fats, and then I went keto and it disappeared. So especially if you know that you have constipation, get bile salts, and that should help you tremendously. Also, what you might want to do, which I didn't include here, you might try MCT oil. MCT oil is the keto everything, because MCT oil, even though it is oil, it doesn't require bile to be digested. So it's going to be ingested straight from your stomach. So if your body is not yet used to creating ketones and doesn't have enough bile to digest the fats through liver and stuff, this is going to be your shortcut to feel good quickly. But very, very important, just take 1 tablespoon, because otherwise you're going to be in the toilet in 3 seconds. So when you take it first time, be close to the toilet. But if you're constipated, swear to God, take a couple of spoons, you're going to be good. So let me come back for a second, switch that off to Maria's comment. Have you ever binged due to keto? Actually, let me go through my last overlay because I want to speak about it a little bit more. Okay, we went through that. And how does keto feel? That's super important. The thing that even prompted me to make this video is because, as you guys probably know, I have been keto last year from February to December, and since then till, well, yesterday really, I have been on carbs. And the difference I have seen after being a year on keto to then trying carbs again, it's huge. So right now, being on carbs, I started being fatigued again. I start having drops in sugar. So if you get keto and you become what we say, your proper ketosis, you get fat adapted, which again, you might need few adjustments here and there. So remember that everybody is different. It's not A to B. Sometimes it has to be like that, up, down, to be there. But if you're already fat adapted in ketosis, you will notice increase in your energy. You will have no spikes and crashes through your energy during the day. So it's not like I ate sugar, I'm energetic, 3 hours later I'm lying and I'm like, freaking hell, I feel like I'm sick. And you're not, let me see if I have it further. You're not going to be as dependent on food. What I hate about being on carbs is I'm dependent on food, not because, I was a little hungry. First of all, being hungry on carbs is not a little hungry. If I'm hungry on carbs, I'm starving, which I'm going to get to in a bit, Maria, as well, to hunger. And if you're not as dependent on food if you're on keto, because fasting feels good as well, because your body has a chance to access your own fat, because that's very important as well. As soon as you fast for a long time, you're in pure ketosis, because what is your body eating? Your fat. So you want to be in that state. And when you prepare your body through eating fat in your diet, it also going to have easier time to switch to fat burning mode. Normally, to start burning fat, you probably have heard it if you ever exercised before, that it takes something like 20 minutes of burning something first, which is glycogen, to even start burning fat. It's true, because we have all that glycogen in our stores. Then also, when you fall asleep, you still have all your glycogen in your liver that is being burned first. Then you wake up when your glycogen is burned from your liver. Then you get morning hungry and you want breakfast. And then if you would go past that point, your body is like, okay, now I'm going to start burning from my muscles, right? My glycogen from my muscles. And only when you get after that, you get into ketosis. So you can get into ketosis this way, but because your body is adapted already from your diet to go that you just are in ketosis, you're not going to have a crash once you finished eating. Now, you get mental clarity because of that, because you have no crashes, you have no fatigue. Your inflammation decreases significantly. So if you have pains and aches, if you have joint pain, it's a very, very good thing to try going keto, because your inflammation increases. Again, if it goes to inflammation, little side note that I'm not going to go into the detail, very important to keep the good omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. So not too much pork. Then your cravings will disappear. You will start feeling full after meals. So if you're watching with insulin resistance, let me know. First of all, let me know if you have ever been keto. Second of all, let me know if you get hungry very quickly after the meals, if you're still on carbs. Then you might start losing weight. And why did I put you may? In some bodies, first of all, it takes a little longer, as I said, to get fat adapted. And in some bodies, if you have a lot of stress, for example, or your body has a lot of different issues, it may take it a minute to adjust and start losing weight, which means especially the thing that can block weight loss on keto is, well, too many calories on keto, because if you overdo it on calories, you can still gain weight. Second thing is inflammation. So if you have a lot of inflammation, it causes a lot of stress in your body, which inhibits fat loss. So if you are doing everything correct, you will lose weight, and it's so much easier to lose weight. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Then later, this is kind of like how it goes right from the beginning. You will start seeing improvements in your skin. That can take a couple of months, depends on how bad your skin is. For me, after 4 months from having acne all around my mouth and on the sides of my cheeks, in 4 months my skin was clearer, which I mean I still have little bumps and little like how to say, those little, like, not white heads, black heads, a little bumps on my skin, but no inflamed big zits. Then your hair will improve, it will become more shiny, you will probably keep a little bit more of your hair, and also your hirsutism might get improved, but that is at least 12 months down the road. Your periods will regulate, so keto is called super fertility diet because we need a lot of fats, by the way, to convert our hormones. My periods did regulate. It seems like a lot of people have similar experience, and your symptoms, some of your symptoms might slowly start disappearing. Now, I want to bring back Maria's comment there. Have you ever binged due to keto? The opposite. What people think is that when you deprive yourself from a whole food group, you're going to crave it. But I don't think we underestimate how much our body dictates what we think. When I am on carbs, not at the minute, because I think that being keto for 10 months already set me up for a little bit different level where my insulin resistance didn't get that bad yet, but I feel it getting worse. So that's why I'm going to go back to keto very soon. And your cravings come from the drops in your energy. So this is the right mechanism. If your body, whether due to insulin resistance, cannot create energy because, as I said, insulin doesn't open the log, the sugar doesn't go and doesn't create energy, or due to the fact that you just ate, you digested everything and you have a drop, if that happens in your body's reaction is, oh my God, I have to get food. I have to get more food. And it's like, it doesn't matter what, I have to feed myself because I'm dying. Of course, in a healthy person, I never understood this. One of my best friend really, when she eats, she feels energized. When I eat, I feel fatigued. Another sign of insulin resistance, by the way. So if you have unhealthy insulin, balance there, you will binge. When you are on keto, when you go through the initial stage, because you will crave on keto, when you go through initial stage, so you get fat adapted, as I say, you feel good, your cravings disappear, and majority of time you're not hungry. And you will probably see people online saying, I did 20-hour fast, I'm doing 18-6, I'm doing 24. On keto, it's not an issue. You can forget about food because as soon as your digested fats run out, your body very smoothly goes into your fat burning. And if your body is fat burning, it's good. I'm chilling. I'm burning my fat. I have plenty of it. All of us have plenty of it. Even very lean people have at least, I don't remember, it was 4 weeks of fat stored between our organs. So you won't feel hunger as much. Now, if it goes to mental aspect and social aspect of keto, in a way that I have Christmas, oh my God, I'm going to kick myself out of keto. I was freaking, to be honest, when I kicked myself out of ketosis in December, I was afraid of carbohydrates. And that is a bit crazy. Because if you're doing keto majority of time, and I don't mean doing it 5 days a week and then 2 weeks kicking yourself out and 2 days kicking yourself out and 5 days, because this way you will never truly be keto. You will never be on the level because you will always be in the adaptation phase and you will always crave stuff. But let's say that you're doing keto for 2 months, something comes up, you have your mom's birthday, whatever. Your body has a different baseline. It already knows how to create ketones and stuff. So if you go and you feel, I want a cake. It's not like on carbs, it's like, I need a cake. It's like, I want to eat cake. And you know what? You eat cake, you eat sugar. Next day, you're going back to keto. You're getting you're getting into your groove. You're putting some what am I saying? Potassium, magnesium, your electrolytes. You're getting your salt. You're getting your water. And you're fine. And your body, because it already knows what it's doing, is going to go to keto a little bit more smooth. So you don't need to be completely deprive. And also, what I would like to mention is that there are plenty keto recipes you can use if you feel like mentally, I would love to eat a cheesecake. There are fantastic keto cheesecakes on erythritol. Molto bene. Which I absolutely love. There are a lot of things that you can do. You will get used to your meals and what you eat. Your taste buds will adapt for sure. Stuff will become more flavorful, because when we eat a lot of sugar, we don't feel that the stuff are sweet anymore because they're almost numb. When you're keto and you don't eat sugar, your tomato, sorry, my boyfriend is British, so I'm speaking British. So your tomato is gonna feel very, very sweet. Your broccoli, your Brussels sprouts, oh my God, it's like candy. So your body will adapt. And the good thing with keto is once you get there, you don't feel deprived. Apart from social situation and social bullying with, oh, you're drinking dry wine, why aren't you drinking freaking beer, By the way, you can drink dry wine on keto a little bit, Spirits you can drink. I know that many people have problem with alcohol. I basically didn't drink on keto. But there are alternatives. Like, as I said, you can make your own cake. When you go to a restaurant, you will learn what to order. It will be okay. Guys, 37 minutes in. Leave me your questions. I'm going to say my story very briefly again, just to emphasize one thing that prompted me even to making this video, because super important. By the way, wherever you're watching, Facebook or YouTube, leave me a like, comment, let me know who you are. I would love to know. I hope that Liza, why don't I know how to pronounce your name? You're still watching. I'm so happy that you tuned in with us as well today. Between your jobs, it means a lot to me. So let me tell you what prompted me to do this video. When I started my journey with keto, let's call it a journey, I struggled going into ketosis. I was very insulin resistant, and I didn't feel well at all. So I could have given up right there, right? I could have been like, oh, it just didn't work for me, goodbye. I didn't. I made a break. I tried again. I adjusted a few stuff. I educated myself, very important. I started eating healthier, started slowly lowering my carbs, started cutting out processed carbs, like, I was gluten-free anyway, so breads and pastas went already. Then I started getting rid of sugars. I noticed that I felt really bad after apples. And I used to eat a lot of apples. I mean, give me a kilogram of apples and I'll eat it right now. I love apples, I love carrots, and I love hummus. And you're like, oh, all healthy things. Yeah, still have a lot of carbs in them, and they still make me feel bad, even though I love them. So I started noticing what made me feel bad. And I started slowly cutting back on it or cutting it out eventually. So naturally, I started going to a little bit more low carb almost, although low carb is the most miserable thing to go to. Because when you're in ketosis, you're fine because your body knows to run on ketones. When you're on carbs, your body knows to run on carbs. On low carb, it's kind of like you're one foot here, 1 foot there, and your body is all confused and you're always fatigued because you don't have enough carbs to run on carbs, and you have too much to start switching to keto. So what I did again, I did adjustments, and a few years later, I made an approach to it again, and that was February last year. And to my shock, I trained my liver enough, apparently, I don't know, to be good and to feel like my digestion was good. When you're on keto, you should observe your poop. Sorry, but you should. Because if it's floating, it means you're not digesting fats. So I started noticing, those improvements, and in my digestion, then in my energy levels. And I'm like, well, listen, if I have energy levels, I'm gonna keep on doing it. Then my skin cleared up, which was major thing after 18 years of acne. My periods, clockwork. beautiful. 29, 30 days every month. It's like they started regulating before when I was on whole foods, but now they were literally to the point where I could predict them, which never happened before. I started feeling ovulation. I started having cervical mucus. So I was like, something good is happening here. Let me continue. Now let me fast forward of me keeping that state and becoming spoiled. Bitch. Hopefully YouTube didn't pick up that word or I'm going to be blocked. So I was being spoiled with how I was feeling. So my birthday came in December and I kicked myself out. And you know what? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed rice. I enjoyed pad thai, you know. The Christmas came around. We were invited over to friends, and then James had birthday and this and that. The New Year's came and I wanted to drink a beer, you know. And there was a thought in my head, what if I never needed to be keto? What if I would just stay on carbs and see what happens? And what happened? Weirdly, all I thought about was my skin. And as soon as I'm going to have acne, I'm going to go back to keto. My acne never came back as before. So keto by itself for that period did something. However, what I started noticing is much worse side effects. I started having brain fog. I started be very fatigued. I felt sick. I felt ill. I felt like I had a flu. Beautiful insulin resistance. I gained weight. I gained probably around 6 kilograms. And don't get me wrong, if I would eat clean whole foods diet, I wouldn't get it. But because I'm not on keto, you know, who stops me from eating crisps and sugar? You know, nobody. So that was difficult. I mean, that I gained weight, I didn't really care, to be honest. I started to notice swelling in my face again. I also have thyroid problems, so there might be something connected there. I don't know yet, but you will notice those memes on the internet where you have your keto face and you have your carb face. I started getting my carb face again, which I don't really like. I started having a few more spots, but not a lot. My period started being wonky. So my period was late on only a day or 2 days last month. However, it was very unusually small. My ovulation hurt a lot, and it wasn't when it should be. It started too early. I could feel my body struggling with ovulation because I had pain in the bottom of my stomach for 4 or 5 days, which usually if I ever have this stinging feeling is for a day. That's all on carbs, by the way. I saw that someone else started tuning in. So that's what happened when I went from keto back to carbs. So I started feeling horrible. And I started thinking to myself, is it worth it? Oh, and I was hungry all the time. God, when was the last time when I started waking up and being hungry at 9 a.m.? Never that happened to me. I used to fast at least to 4 o'clock or even at least 1 on weekends, because on weekends I wanted to eat more, you know? But I was hungry, tired. I had brain fog. I started seeing inflammation on my skin, and I started seeing my periods getting wonky and dysregulated. Plus, I started having digestive issues. I don't know if digestive issues are just because my body forgot how to do carbs. And also I even ate gluten, which is not good for me at all. But the energy crashes were the worst because you know, I'm a business owner. I want to be able to work. And if it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you have to lay down because you feel like you're going to faint, or you have to push through that fatigue, it's horrible. So where I am now is that yesterday I had a low carb day. Now I remember that I ate soup. Oh, soups are going to be so hard to give up. But I love soups. Pumpkin soup. But I know it's going to be worth it. Like I'm not going to say, you know, giving up carrots and hummus, you know, it's a healthy thing. So it's not like giving up croissants or giving up cake, where at least, you know, you're giving up something unhealthy. Sometimes, yeah, you give up healthy stuff. I have to give up bananas, you know, carrots, hummus, all this type of stuff. But I know it's going to be better for me in the long run. So Last night I had a very nice keto dinner. I may maybe actually going to even show you. Let me show you, because I think I have my Instagram. leave me questions. Leave me more questions if you have any. So that's my Instagram, by the way. Go follow me, agatapavlak.ig. There you go, agatapavlak.ig. And that was my dinner yesterday. So it was a salad. I know that not everybody likes the salad, but don't worry, that's not the only thing that you will eat on keto. So let me see how you can see me right now. Can you see me okay? Oh, let me just change the background quickly. There we go. So what was in the salad? Mix of salads, rucola, radishes, cucumber, paprika, fried turkey, which actually will be better if it would be a little bit more fatty meat, like brown chicken meat, or salmon would be great. Blue cheese, walnuts, and a little bit of mixture of mustard, olive oil, and salt as a dressing. So it's not super complex thing to eat. But I already ate keto, and I'll tell you what, today my energy levels, and today for lunch I ate just eggs and bacon, and my energy levels are way up there in comparison to beyond carbs. So that is that. Thank you all of you guys for watching. Again, last minute to ask me anything, even if it's not keto related. If it's PCOS related, you're very welcome to ask me anything. As I said, make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you like this video, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube, or give me a like to my page on Facebook. Make sure you join my group. Again, it's in the description on YouTube. It's on the page if you're watching on Facebook. And what else? Oh, and you have a Keto Electrolyte Amazon link also in the description there as well. Oh, there we go. I have another question. Is keto sustainable for long term? It is healthy long term. However, sustainable, I would say it depends on your character. And I will say this. If your mindset will change once you get adapted to keto. So I would recommend everybody, especially if you're insulin resistant, to try doing it. Try to get fat adapted, even if you will do it for 3 months. And you are going in with this thought. 3 months is really minimum, because I've read somewhere that 12 weeks it takes to really get fat adapted. So try it for 12 weeks minimum. See how you feel. It's very likely that your mindset is going to change, and the benefits will make you want to continue. If you will feel yourself deprived, you can do cyclical keto, which I would also recommend for people who have insulin resistance problem. So if you can't do it, do whatever you can. So maybe you're going to put yourself in ketosis by doing keto every 3 months. So 3 months on carbs, 3 months off carbs, 3 months on carbs, 3 months off carbs, 6 months, 6 months, whatever fits you. And whenever you feel like you're feeling deprived, if you feel like around summer you want to eat pineapple, go for it and see what happens. Have, of course, the systems in place. For example, fasting, or berberine, or inositol, stuff that will help you with your glucose balance for that time. But try to find a solution for you. I know people, and I'm very sorry that I didn't tell Beth before to be here today, Beth is on keto 2 years straight. I used to watch the couple, I think that they're still going on, I don't know, it's called Keto Connect. They're doing it for many years. It depends on your mental, physically, nothing wrong with eating a lot of salad and a little bit of fish on the side or meat on the side forever. But it's all about your mental things. You know yourself. What are your non-negotiables? If your non-negotiable is having your auntie's cake on Christmas, do cyclical. Or kick yourself out of ketosis once in a while, but keep it the majority of time, keep keto, kick yourself out, decide on the beginning. My daughter's birthday, my auntie's cake, I'm going to kick myself out for these times. And every 5 months, every 5 weeks, I'm going to eat something. And then I'm going to do prolonged fast to go back into ketosis quicker. Hope that answered your question. You are wonderful. Thank you, Maria. I hope that you're good in Bulgaria. I am Polish, by the way, for those of you who didn't know. And we had, in Poland, we had snow. I'm on Tenerife, Canary Islands, Spain at the minute. So we have nice sunny weather. But I know that a little bit more towards east there was a snow. So let me know how is the weather there. Probably in a little bit more, what's it called, marine climate. Teresa. Sorry, I'm saying it in Polish way. Teresa, I have another question. What do you think about zero carb bread or pasta? If you need it as a crouch, you can use it. However, zero carb pasta is disgusting in my opinion. I really don't like the texture. It's very gummy. I would say when you are getting adjusted to keto, what will get you to keto the fastest is going to be the most strict. However, if you struggle with the mental aspect, go for zero carb bread. But it's not healthy. It has a lot of preservatives and it has a lot of stuff that can increase your inflammation. So for long term, of course, it will be better to wean off it. I know it sounds daunting, but if you do it one step at a time, you will be surprised how far you can go with giving up the stuff that you think you cannot give up. That's what I really want to put across. I was a person 5 years ago who hated vegetables, and all I wanted to eat, I'm Polish, we eat bread every day. We live on potatoes. Like my grandma was type 2 diabetic, so we had freaking carb breakfast with bread, with cake, lunch, cake, dinner, cake. So I really wasn't used to it. But I was surprised how my body has adapted to make me want different things. Not that I forced myself. That's one thing that I want you guys to take away from this. You are changing your body not to force it to eat something else and force it to restrict it all the time. Your body will change in a way that it's going to want different things. And it's going to start wanting good things. I know it's difficult to imagine right now, especially if you love bread, not to be loving bread, but it can happen. Thank you, Teresa. Why do I have such a difficult time saying this? And let me know where you're watching. There we go, from Florida. Oh, we're on the same level, actually. Tenerife, Canary Islands are on exactly the same latitude, is it? On the map. So we are very, very probably in similar climate, actually. All right, guys, I'm going to have a sip. Please ask me less questions. I see people are tuning in right now. Guys, less 5 minutes to put your questions. If I have questions, I stay. If I don't have questions, I go. So I'm getting a sip. Again, even if you're not fully keto yet, let me just say this. Start getting used to sweeteners. Because your taste buds will adapt to sweeteners. And what I want to say about that, if you can do stevia, do stevia. If you hate stevia with a passion, you have option of erythritol and xylitol. Better erythritol, actually. Because xylitol can give you stomach problems. Especially if it's, I can't remember now, because one is birch and one is other. I think birch gives you, or birch is the good one. Can't remember. Anyway, specific type of xylitol can really give you, diarrhea. So it can really mess you up. Erythritol is good, but again, don't overuse it because you can have a stomach issue. But if you're slowly weaning off carbs, which is a good idea as well, just to mitigate this mental aspect, then start getting used to the sweetener. So if you drink a sweetener in your coffee, there we go. There is a great question from Maria. Will you be here again on Tuesday, and what the topic will be? I will be here on Tuesday, but I haven't decided on the topic because I want you guys to tell me. I had this epiphany about doing this stuff about keto because it was just something that happened in my life. But I really want to make stuff that bother you guys. You know what I mean? I really want to make a subject that is difficult for you, and I want to answer it. So let me know in the comments of this video, what do you want me to make a video about? I'm going to do a research a little bit from keywords tomorrow, because that also gives me indication what people are searching for and what their pain points are. Both Maria, I hope you're following me. You're subscribed to me on YouTube. I will try to publish my live a little bit earlier this time. And listen, we are 4 subscribers away from 1,000. So I will be able to have community tab very, very soon. So I will be announcing what I'm going to be talking about there as soon as I get it. Apparently, it can be a little bit late. This was helpful. Fantastic. And guys, again, I know, Teresa, you started following me, I think, on Facebook page as well. No, on Instagram as well. Love to see you there. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram, agatapavlak.ig. I've been a little bit intermittent because I felt like crap recently. So I'm on and off, but I'm always in DMs. So message me, ask me anything. I always love to talk to you guys. Go to my group. Let's talk there as well. And that's it. Maria, message me and let me know what you want me to talk about. And I will do so. I want to talk about what you guys struggle with. I can also, if you want, if you're interested in the subject of keto, I can create a plan of how to go keto, for example, and thank you, Teresa, for commenting again. And so if you want, I can do like a game plan for going keto. What you need to take, what you need to buy, supplement-wise, just to make transition a little bit smoother. I can come up with few easy meal ideas, and I could put the game plan to kind of wean yourself off carbs, and come up with few easy solutions if that's what you guys want to hear. So that's that. All right, we still have a few people watching, and I would love to stay with you guys and talk to you for hours. But if you have no more questions, I guess we're going to be finishing. So thank you again, everybody, for watching. I love doing those lives for you. And again, I love to do the lives that you want to listen to. So let me know in the comments what you want the next live to be about. Message me on Instagram, join my group, click like, it helps my channel a lot, and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Love you all. Mwah! Bye.